Yo, what's poppin', guys? You got your boy Nandre here. Welcome to another video. So this is gonna be the part two of the what can I play in order to ladder with right now, or sorry, what can I just play in general, like just in general that I think it's gonna be like good. That I think I'm gonna have fun with. I'm gonna be able to like be successful with. So for this one, I wanted to focus it more so on sword this time because I did have quite a few different sword lists that I know like some people like sent to me, and some that I kind of like picked up on either Twitter or Reddit. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm just going to talk about the three sword decks in particular. We're going to go ahead and start off with JC's Grinder sword list. Now, so this basic control sword. Alright, so what you can see is that like it is running some very cool cards. Like say for example, it's running a Sheath Blade. A Sheath Blade is a card that I actually really like a lot, just because it gave sword a different avenue for certain things that they could do. Like say for example, you can go ahead and like run in your Leonidas into a Bane minion on turn 5, just get like the Leonidas Resolves active. Leonidas Resolves, when you get it active, it's actually very hard for a lot of different decks to clear it, especially when you can do it on turn 5. That's pretty funny and also pretty ridiculous. It's also running one copy of Barbarossa. I actually like Barbarossa a lot, just because so when I saw the card, and I guarantee you know that a lot of you guys who interact with me on like Discord and whatnot remember me saying this, but I immediately called it the Oro of Sword, just because like it's a card that like when you play it well, it forces your opponent to play differently. When you force your opponent to play differently than how they would ordinarily do, it causes them to, one, mess up, and two, gives you free wins, because like they're not gonna know how to like kind of like cope with the card, and when they don't know how to cope with the card, they make silly mistakes. When they make silly mistakes, you capitalize on mistakes, bam, you get free wins. And I definitely like the card a lot. It's also playing a fairly relatively aggressive, well, somewhat aggressive early game. It's also packing the Mars in conjunction with the Luminous. Sorry, with White Paladin, which in my opinion is very strong, just because like you get it like even if the White Paladin only gives you 2 tokens, that's still insane, just because when you have the 2/3 that's behind like 2/2 wards or whatever, like that's it actually becomes very difficult for your opponent to kill it properly. If they can't kill the Mars, then like the Mars just like gets like out of hand. You just kind of like win, because certain things like say Geno becomes ridiculous, Alwida's ridiculous, Luminous Mage super ridiculous, and then of course like stuff like say Front Guard General as well as Council of Card Knights, like those all become like very difficult for your opponent to deal with. It's a pretty straightforward list for the most part, like, but there are a lot of different like cool things they can do when you play it. I definitely recommend trying it out if you have the piece support. Like it's pretty well. There are a lot of golds and there are a lot of silvers in it, as well as a lot of legendaries. So it's a little bit on the less budgety side, but for the most part, like these still have a lot of staples for sword, as well as staples for some other decks as well. Like say the Staircase Paradise staple, Unica staple, and so on and so forth. So definitely go ahead and try it out when you get the chance. The next list, and this is a list that I've been using a lot of, is a mid sword list from Pain Gaming. So if you don't know who Pain Gaming is, I don't know who he is like by name. I'm just going by what his YouTube handle is. He's, I believe, an Asian streamer. He's usually pretty high up on the master score ladder. So I know he usually gets like at least top 10k every single month or so. So definitely someone of like actual like repute who actually plays the game. So again, like I said, I've been playing a lot of this list lately. I believe I actually like showed either 2 or 3 videos about it previously, but still a pretty fun list. Like as you can see, it's very similar to the other lists, just because the majority of these mid sword lists are going to be playing Roundtable Assembly, because that card is so nuts. Like, oh my god, it's just so good. Like you essentially get for 5 mana, you get 5 mana. Well, you get at least 5 mana back worth in stats. You probably pull out your Mars, you probably pull out the White Paladin, and you just go to Value Town. It's very powerful, just because like something that Sword didn't have was like being able to like pull cards out of your deck, being able to just like generate resources for free, generating a resource for free that also like give back extra dividends to you. That's actually just like insane. It also plays at the top end. It plays the one Roland, the Incorruptible. Roland is actually kind of nice versus certain things. Like say for example, it's kind of nice versus Gachimera. Like, but only in the event where they don't have like, you know, like double or triple D shift in order to kill you, because, you know, in those games you're just gonna lose anyway. But and then also Hero of Antiquity. Hero of Antiquity is a card that I actually love a lot. It's a card that I actually love a lot, and especially versus say that of Haven, because like Haven has a difficult time clearing it. Like you've obviously seen how difficult it is for a lot of decks to clear, like Beating the Beast. Well, it's a lot harder to clear a Beating the Beast that for 2 mana more basically has like about similar stats to the unevolved Beating the Beast, and also has Rush. Like that's kind of ridiculous and kind of scary, especially just because like if it lives, it means that your Albert's doing. That the Albert in conjunction with the hero is doing 12 damage to your opponent, or 16 damage if the Albert has an Evo, or 18 damage if both of these things had Evos. But yeah, and of course the one Leonidas. So if you don't want to play Leonidas, you don't have to. It's just that the Japanese community are, it's just that the Japanese community are very, very big on Leonidas, because like Leonidas is a very, very powerful effect. Like it's one of the ways they can like win versus say that of Dragon, because like if you can set it up correctly and set it up in such a way that the Dragon player like gets baited into Bahamutting your Roland, then you can go ahead and set the Leonidas later. They maybe don't Bahamut it correctly, and then you just kind of like win the game, because like it's very, very tricky for them to do it, because they have to do it in such a way that they can not only get rid of the amulet, but also deal with the Leonidas itself, and not get destroyed by the Albert that's going to come down almost assuredly when they go ahead and blow up the Leonidas. So it's a very, very strong checkmate play, and I actually really like the card a lot, just because like the only card that really punishes it is Odin, and Odin isn't really played right now in this metagame. But yeah, it also packs say things like say Amelia, which is actually very, very good for aggro, just because, you know, you get the extra ward, and getting extra wards kind of, you know, save lives. It also has the Bladed Hedgehog. Bladed Hedgehog is pretty ridiculous. I actually like the card a lot. Alright, so for the next one, this is gonna be my girl Thannis Neutral Sword. So I've been tweaking this list a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it's Neutral Sword. So Neutral Sword, the main reasons why you want to play it is because you get access to Rabbit Ear Attendant. So this way you get card draw. You get access to maisy. Maisy is very, very good. Maisy is basically a soul squasher, except you know, it requires an Evo, but you're no longer I guess like limited to blowing up that of the like evolved only targets. Now you can blow up pretty much anything as long as that card can be blown up. Like say for example, you can blow up Scarlet Sabreurs, you can blow up Alberts, you can blow up Sibyls, you can blow up Hectors, you can blow up Chimeras. There are a lot of different cards you can blow up with it. As long as you meet the relatively easily achieved condition of, oh well, if I have a neutral follower in play, bam, blow that up. Like you play a lot of neutral. Let's see, you play 3, 6, 9, or sorry, 3, 6, 10, 12, 13, 16. Alright, so you play 16 neutrals, and then the council card counts as 3 neutrals as well for a total of 19. So a lot of neutrals that can trigger it, and basically like when you're not like aiming for that, you can also just like play the same, you know, like mid range. Okay, well I'm playing sword. I have very, very good creatures all along the curve, and just kind of win games that way. So one of the things that like I guess like the additions to a deck that I made was that I'm trying to Hectors as opposed to that of Goblin Princesses. Because I don't actually like Goblin Princess. I feel it's a little bit too slow. I also like the Hector just because Hector, like, when you get to, like, activate his effect, it's very, very powerful. Just because, like, you kind of force a 3-for-1 in your favor that also, like, blocks a lot of damage and kind of like, forces the game to go to like, later innings. And that's very, very good just because, like, when you get to this later innings, then you get to, like, abuse the fact that, like, that this deck has so much card draw. Like, it's not uncommon for when you play this deck to go ahead and just like constantly just like be overdrawing cards. Like I actually had a few games where I would go ahead and like I would have like a 7-mana Staircase to Paradise and like a 4-mana Staircase to Paradise, and somehow like proc both like almost usually like within like a turn of each other. That was like ridiculous. Like that I just like felt like so it feels very, very satisfying when that happens. So obvious issues that, as you can see, is that like there's a world in which you might actually cut these barriers for like coastal swings, which of course you know you can do that. I'll be perfectly fine. and just and just like hoping with like what happens when you go second. Like when you go second, you're gonna be like kind of like, you know, in a rough spot until you can like make it to the swing card Evo turns, where you have the maisy, you have the teena, you have the hector, and you just, you know, you recover from there. So that part might you know, take a little bit of adjusting too, but if you can do it, like the deck actually feels very good to play. And then the last one for this video would be Aggro Sword. So I don't remember which list I got this from. Who I got this from. I believe I got it from one of the guys that are like either top 1 or top 2 last season. So this list, as you can see, it looks a little bit different. So the first I guess weird outlier here is that it's playing maisy. So it's playing maisy in order to counter that's a Ram Dragon, because as you know, Dragon as a whole is usually a top 4 class. Like Dragon will almost assuredly, as long as Sibyl's a card, or as long as Dragon do like gross things to you, but usually generally just because Sibyl's a card, Dragon will almost assuredly never not be top 4 in usage. So this card, the maisy, it helps deal with Dragon and some of their shenanigans. It also helps you deal with wards a little bit better. And there's not really that much of an opportunity cost to play it, just because, like, yes, you do have to use an Evo, and you do require some neutrals, but you do play a lot of, like, incidental neutrals as it is, and even more so in this deck. It's also playing Vagabond Frog, and I know a lot of you guys are like, what the fuck, why is there a Vagabond Frog here? Alright, so for the Vagabond Frog, it's just because, like, if you get to Evo the Frog, because again, sometimes you are in fact going to have, like, free Evos, then that means that the Frog never dies, and it's sort of like a consistent source of damage. It's basically like a free, like, demonic strike. They just, like, get to, like, bop your opponent in the face with every single turn. And this deck, like, abuses the fact that they have both repetitive damage from, again, the Vagabond Frogs, as well as for the fact that you also have, like, almost assuredly guaranteed damage from that. But Kunoichi Master is a very powerful card, just because, like, when it comes out, if you evolve it, you have 7 damage in stealth. 7 damage in stealth, and the only way that your opponent can prevent it is by healing or warding. But even then, if they play up the wards, sometimes you can go ahead and just you know, like, blow up the wards and just, you know, keep mounting pressure. Like, I've had some games in which, like in which I just go, like, Kunoichi Master into, like, a Tsubaki or something like that, and then the Dragon player just, like, conceded because, like, they didn't have a way to get rid of all. Yeah, they didn't have, like, a way to get rid of all that, like, self damage, because I just kind of, like, dropped in the Albert and I just, like, go ahead and OTK them. So this list is a list that you'd, like, play if you're, like, playing very heavily into Dragon. Just because, as you can see, I'm playing, well, just because as you can see, the list has not 1 but 3 Tsubakis in it. It's very like, anti-Dragon focused aggro. It's still a very fun list to play. It's also, like, relatively cheap, because, like, you don't really need the Tsubakis. I mean, like, they're very nice to have, but you don't, like, need them. So if you don't have Tsubakis, you can, like, you know, replace them for something else. It's a very cool list overall. Like, say for example, you can like replace them with, like, I believe it's not White Paladin, White General. There we go. That actually does something kind of similar to what you're doing with this. But yeah, like, so this is like 4 more decks. I believe like my current deck count right now is like 10, 11, 12, something like that, of the different decks you can play, just because, like, again, it's still a pretty much, you know, an any deck can win format, which I know that, like, a lot of you guys probably think is like, oh, well, Space is being, like, strangled out by D-Ship, which, you know, I don't really think that's true, but I know a lot of you guys beg to disagree. Which of course is, like, fine, you know, like, everyone has, like, their own opinions and whatnot, and this is like fine. It's like what makes a society. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, go and leave a like, go and hit the subscribe button. If you have any sort of decks that you're playing that you like, you know, go ahead and share them for me. You know, I might go ahead and talk about them in part 3 of this video. I believe there will be, like, 2 more parts, and then I'll be talking about something else probably this week. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.